Friday, 12th of March 2021, 6 a.m. in the morning. An early start today, preparing for a slot on Radio Wiltshire's breakfast show to give our reaction to the news that the law has been changed to allow a sign language interpreter to be in the jury room to support profoundly deaf BSL users so that they may serve on a jury. My initial reaction to the news was one of surprise, as my understanding was that following the 2003 adoption by the UK government of BSL as an official language of the UK, this was already happening. Imaginary cries of "Keep up, George!" came into my head, prompting me to do a little research into the matter beforehand. Yes, it was true. BSL interpreters could assist BSL users in a court of law from 2003. But that still could not get round the long-standing law that said only the selected 12 jury members were allowed into a jury room to deliberate their verdict. For an interpreter to be present, that law would have to be changed. This was pointed out by lobbyists at the time, and various campaigners since have lobbied for this change over the past 18 years. It brings home to uninitiated people like me just how slowly the wheels of reforms and enactments in justice and law turn. Laws that impact on deaf people are no more exempt from this long drawn-out process than any other. But it is a cause for celebration and encouragement to us to keep fighting and plugging away at them. So why is this one so important? It is another step on the path to empowerment and inclusion of deaf people in all aspects of society, changing a mindset that people with hearing loss are somehow less capable or not to be trusted in making important decisions and valuable contributions to society. I have never been called for jury service, but I have considered my response to such a call. I now have a severe hearing loss, partially corrected by wearing hearing aids, and I have sat in the public gallery of a magistrate's court, where the lack of a loop system made it very hard for me to follow the proceedings. My first language is English. So real-time speech-to-text reporting and a display screen for me to read would have been invaluable. It's only a small step, really, as there is already a stenographer recording verbatim what is spoken in a court of law. It just requires a cable to a screen. A lifetime of hearing loss has caused me to develop strong skills in lip reading, but I am acutely aware that this skill relies heavily on guesswork through visual clues and context. It also requires people talking to me to have good skills in using clear speech and an awareness of all the other things that help me fill in the bits that I miss. Not forgetting the protocols that need to be followed in group discussions and the room set up to create a conducive environment. Indeed, hearing jurors also benefit from these provisions. I also have some skills in using sign language, but consider they are not sufficient for me to rely on to follow all the information being signed to me by an interpreter in such an important matter as deliberating the guilt of one of my peers. So, I hope that this reform will allow other communication professionals to assist jurors who may benefit from speech-to-text reporters, lip speakers, deaf-blind manual alphabet communication guides, and Braille, in addition to the sign language interpreters. There is other spin-off benefits from this latest news. It will add impetus for the campaign for a BSL Act that aims to legalise the language in England and Wales. Lots of people have called for changes in education to include the teaching of sign language in schools from an early age. It will take time and continued campaigning for this also to become law. But in the meantime, we can offer it to local schools and assist those who are already including it in their curriculum to help maintain quality standards of both teachers and the materials they use. Of course, it will also raise the level of deaf awareness in society and set a precedent for other institutions to follow for the empowerment and inclusion of the 11 million people who have any level of hearing loss and specific communication needs in this country. It will also give impetus to the Make It Clear and Where's the Interpreter campaigns for the use of clear panels in face masks and interpreters at televised news conferences and briefings, respectively. There will also be increased opportunities for deaf teachers to be involved in the training of interpreters and other communication professionals. By the way, I have produced this blog in response to the very short slot I was given on the radio. If the mountain won't go to Mohammed, Mohammed will come to the mountain. time for breakfast. Bye.